In today's time, artificial intelligence, or maybe you call it as AI, is everywhere. Industries are adapting AI because that help in increasing their efficiency into their business. Hi everyone, this is Prashant Chaudhary. I welcome you all to my channel Classic Power App. In today's video, we are going to explore one important data type introduced inside the Dataverse. Dataverse is nothing, it's just a data source in order to store your data in the tabular format. When talking about storing the data in the tables, it means tables would have the columns and each column would have the data type. So this is the prompt data type that we are talking today. Prompt is like where you would pass in some instructions, and behind the scene there is a model which would be processing your prompt and accordingly propose or return some response to you. And that response would be stored inside some of the column inside our database. So without wasting time, I'm just taking to my Power Up screen. So here I'll go to tables because that column needs to be created inside the table. So I'm just going to search my vendor table. This vendor table has some details of the vendor like their contact, their address, their minimum order, their maximum orders, and everything. So let's try to create a column, a prompt column into this one. I'll go to plus. Let's say I give the column name as summary of vendor. Okay. Data type I'm selecting as prompt, right? Prompt right now it is in preview, but maybe it would in future it would be generally available. And the format right now we have only text type, so let's select text only. And then here I can pass the prompt. So I click on this add new prompt. The moment I click on this one, it opens a pop-up for me. This pop-up on the top I can give the name. So let's say I give vendor summary prompt. Okay. And here it gives me the option to select which model I would like my prompt to be processed. So let's say I'm selecting ChatGPT like GPT 5. Okay. And then this is something which is already created. So let's say I'm just deleting this one, everything. And let's say if the, okay, create the summary of the vendor based on the data present in other columns. If the I can add the dynamic content as well so that it would fetch the data present in other columns. Okay, so dynamic content would be my from my vendors list. I need the vendor minimum order price. Click on add. I'm saying if okay, it cursor is not coming. Mhm. Okay, let's how I can do this. No, 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 no. Okay, the cursor is not stopping, and maybe it is because of some internet or something. But I'm just trying to get this so that I can write. Okay, I got this. Okay, so I'm saying if the vendor minimum order price is less than 200, then the vendor will not accept the small quantity of the items. And if the I'm just using for now this space, I'm just going to add the dynamic content a little later. Okay, if I'm going to add vendor maximum order price is greater than 20,000, then vendor will provide the truck service to deliver the items. Otherwise, motorbikes will be used to deliver items. Now I'll just add if the I'll add my dynamic content. My dynamic content is vendors maximum order price. Okay, add this one. Now you just try to understand. Create the summary of the vendor based on the data present in the other columns. If the vendor minimum order price is less than 200, then vendor will not accept the small quantity of items. Okay, and if the maximum price is more than 20,000, then vendor will provide the truck service. Otherwise, bikes will be used to deliver the items. Okay, so that's my prompt. I can hit on text test. So it is now this particular model is processing my prompt so that it would generate a response for me. So I got this some things. I'm just ignoring this for now. Whatever response I got is, if you try to understand, you can learn it. Like for each vendor, it is writing some response. Okay, let's say I add this column into my table. Okay, this one is like okay. Here it would write the prompt which I have written on the previous screen, and then I can hit on this save button. Now the question may arise, what would happen to the records, to the existing records? Okay, so whenever you create a new column, the data would be, this column would be calculated in sooner or later. Okay, let me try to see if you have this some value to this column or not. So here you can see summary of vendor is totally fully blank for now. Let's try to change some column values, okay? So that I would get some sort of trigger, and then it would calculate the value for my column. Okay, so let's say minimum is this one. So I'm going to decrease this one. Let's say make it as 100. So I'm just making this vendor minimum order price is 100 and maximum order price is 40,000. So let's see what value would populate into my generative column. So let's come here. It's not generated yet. No worries. Let's do for one more. Okay. So I guess it has been saved. It should populate it to this side. Not yet. No worries. I just hit on the refresh button. So whenever you are using sort of columns, it might provide the response instantly or might sometimes it will take little time. Okay, but normally it should be instantly. Okay, so let's see, I updated two things. Let's see. Okay, so here you can see I have values in two columns. If I just hover on this one, in this tooltip you can read that vendor Ganesh located some location with the person details has a minimum order price of 10, meaning they will not accept the small quantity. Their maximum order price is 40,000, so they will provide a truck service for deliveries. The vendor is deferred. So it's like it is utilizing all column values in order to prepare a summary and the condition for two columns, minimum order price and maximum order price, it has used in order to provide a decision whether it is going to accept a small quantity or not, or whether it is doing the delivery through the trucks or through the bikes. Okay, and if you just hover on the another one, if I somewhere increase this size, let me try if something I can do. We can show this column into some of the application in some form, but it is just an unnecessary one for me for now. Once you get this data inside the column, you can use it inside a form. Okay, okay, now let's hover on the second one. This says vendor Vishnu vendor Vishnu Vehicle Care, okay, will not accept small quantities because their minimum order price is 150. So it would not accept the small quantities, which is less than 200. Okay, and for delivery, since its maximum order is 60,000, which is less than 6,000, not 60,000, 6,000, which is less than 20,000. So bikes will be used to deliver items. So that's the value which is stored inside these columns. Okay, so I hope you understood how the prompt columns are working. Based on the generative model we are using, it would write a response, and that response would be used in order to beautify or maybe to make a more meaningful information from a particular column. Okay, so that is all in this video run. Hope you understand this concept. If you have any queries, please write to me on through my YouTube or contact me on the LinkedIn. Thank you all. Have a nice day.